Estamos en Kfar Aza, uno de los kibutzim más afectados el 7 de octubre de 2023. Aquí ingresaron más de 600 terroristas. En ese momento había 950 residentes. Se escuchaban risas, juegos, charlas entre vecinos que se conocen hace muchos años. Hoy se escucha silencio. Hay solamente 20 personas. Se escuchan los helicópteros, los drones. Y aunque el kibutz y la comunidad se está reconstruyendo, la herida y la cicatriz está vigente.
My name is Shachar Tzuk. I'm a resident of Kibutz Kfar Aza. I didn't grow up here. My parents moved here 10 years ago, and I moved permanently here on 2021. I'm the oldest of three. I have a younger sister and a brother. I'm ante to three cute nephews, and this is my kibbutz.
And how was this place on October 5, October 6?
It was busy. It had a lot of children, like a big baby boom for a few years. This playground was full of kids playing all hours. We were planning the traditional kite festival. On the morning of October 7th, we had more than 990 residents, around 450 families.
And how many people are here today?
Permanent residents are less than 20 people currently. So this place was filled with kids from dawn to dusk.
So this place was full of joy and screamings and
laugh. And singing. Yeah.
And how do you feel right now that we only hear like a helicopter going around?
And the drones, helicopters, the machine guns, the bombs. It's the sound of the reality breaking, I think.
Like the contrast, the opposite.
Yeah. In Hebrew we say החלום ושברו, the dream and its shadows, particles.
And do you think, like in the future, this place will be again with joy and laughs?
It already is, but with a big scar.
How can you define people who used to live here, the community?
Peace seekers, like a big brotherhood of people. We had one of the strongest amateur football teams in the region, Kfar Aza, I think they were the champions before the war. I have a lot of memories from this playground playing with him. He lived 50 meters from here, I think.
What was his favorite game?
There's like a course painted on the pavement, and a part of it says Eretz. It's a game when a person gives you a letter and then you need to find a country, a place, an object, a plant, an animal. And because he knew a lot of stuff and he knew how to read, so thinking about a letter was his favorite game. The colors are faded. That's a big symbol of no one is here, no one is playing. There's no one playing that needs the paint to be fixed. Bittersweet because it looks like home, but it doesn't feel like home. When I say that we were in the playground with my nephew, I had a family. We used to come here as a family. I think they're afraid to come back with kids, with small kids. Two of my nephew's friends from kindergarten were kidnapped to Gaza. And his other friends saw their parents fighting for the door of the safe room, or I don't know, losing their parents. My nephew was afraid at 4.5 years old of the chance of him becoming an orphan, which is insane.
Where is he living?
In Kfar Zar.
And are they planning to come back, or it's not an option?
I don't think so. And also I know what happened here. Like this entire area, the grass was full of bodies. And the basketball court was full of bodies, and I know that. Like one of my nephew's favorite spots was full of dead heroes and dead terrorists. I can't understand the joy and the cheering for kidnapping babies. My parents, my mom volunteered and took humanitarian causes to Israeli hospitals. No one paid her to do that, and there's a border between Egypt and Gaza as well. No Egyptian hospital took the amount of Israeli hospitals under their care.
And where were you on October 7th?
I was in a bed and breakfast with my family, by chance, like so many from the kibbutz traveling for the holiday. And originally my parents' plan was to leave there around 7:30, maybe 8.
And how did you notice what was going on here?
First of all, we heard the sirens. My phone is also alerting me whenever something is happening here. So we all woke up by the red alert on our phone. Both my parents were in the kibbutz management on different departments. My mom was managing the education, and my dad was part of the emergency response team, which helps the first response team to operate. And I reckon that he got the actual notification. We heard it as rumors that there are terrorists in the kibbutz. And we saw the message that people need to take shelter and not to open to anyone. Then my mom got a call, and she was running after my nephew. So she gave me the phone and she told me, check what does he want? And she was referring to my sister-in-law's brother. Answered the phone and he whispered, everyone's dead. And then everything.
What did he say?
Everyone's dead. And then everything started. Then I asked, then more information started to come, and everything was still confusing. They came to this neighborhood around 9 and started to harm people. The first people were shot, not abducted. The first abduction happened around 10, and the last person abducted from Kfar Aza was around 12. And the IDF fought here very hard until Tuesday Eve, and only by then they gained control of the neighborhood, because the terrorists waited, they booby-trapped the roads, bodies, they put people on the roof as snipers. This neighborhood was hit the hardest. Half of the people from this neighborhood either murdered or abducted.
Can you describe the moment you received the message of your brother saying everyone is dead? Like, what did you feel? What did you think at that point?
I thought there was a small group, like maybe even 2 terrorists in the kibbutz. A huge tragedy happened to them, but it's gonna end soon. Like within an hour, everything's gonna end. Within an hour, I realized it's not the event, and something horrible was happening. And I was trying to mitigate it to my friends when I asked them for help, but I didn't want also to announce the bad news to people without formal channels doing so. So whenever people ask me about the kibbutz, I said there's been a terrible disaster in the kibbutz. The situation is dire, but I didn't add anything. I knew that there were dozens of people murdered, but I didn't say that. My parents notified my sister-in-law about her parents, and after a while she came and said, I need to make maps, help me.
To make?
Maps. special forces started to enter the kibbutz, but they didn't have the geographical information. Where are the high points that can control fire? Where are the critically wounded? Where are the suspect entry points? So I helped her to make maps. I took a snapshot of Apple Maps because Google Maps didn't work. And you can scrabble on WhatsApp on pictures. So we picked a color, and then she signed on the map, and I sent it to her for a few times. I help people on phone calls, also in text, but also on phone calls. People called me, and they just needed not to be alone, and to be told that help is coming. And I lied because I didn't know if anyone would come. But I did it, and also helped saying to IDF, we haven't heard from this house, this is the location on a map, please go there. This was the main help.
And when was the first time you cried because of this? Because in the very first moment you helped, like you didn't have time to cry, I guess.
The first moment I cried was when I learned the fate of my sister-in-law's parents. I cried and I immediately stopped. And later that day, around midnight, I learned the fate of my friend from the Kfar Zar. Her name was Norit Berger. I saw her name in a list of the deceased. I started to cry and I stopped. And the next time after that I really remembered myself crying was, I think it was Tuesday morning or Monday morning. I went to Kiryat Gat with my mom to do an ultrasound or a blood test or something. After that, we went to a shopping center. We needed to get some groceries. We were still at the bed and breakfast. We had nowhere to go to. Like on the movie Terminal, you're stuck. I felt exactly the same. And I waited for my mom at the car, and I started to cry. And I cried for like 10 minutes plus, feeling that reality is broken. Like something in the reality shattered, and I can't explain what the feeling was, but in retrospect, it's a great way to describe PTSD. I have almost every second documented from the day of the attack of the 7th and the 8th of October, because people were messaging all the time. Messaging, text, messaging, voice recording. We have people begging in voice recording, cursing. Like, where are all the soldiers? The point that hurts me the most is Ofir Shoshani. You can see her in the picture on the flag. I remember vividly the messages from Ofir. She's saying that she was shot. She's crying for help. She's begging, please, 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 someone help, come and help. She begged for an hour plus.
And do you still have those messages?
Of course.
You wasn't here on October 7th, but in case you had been, it was like 100 meters from here.
I know that if I would have been home, I would have been murdered.
What do you feel when you say this to me? How do you feel?
I think what most people from Kfar Aza feel, that it's by sheer chance, good luck and bad luck, that some of us are alive and some of us are not. Some of us were abducted and some of us didn't. 1 out of 13 was either killed or abducted.
And did you talk with your neighbors about reconstruction, rebuilding? What do they think?
Some people feel like we need to ruin everything and rebuild because they don't want to live in a mausoleum, and I can understand it. Some people feel the need to commemorate and remember their loved ones, the place that they were murdered or fell protecting the kibbutz, or the the childhood bedroom of their loved one that is never going to get home again. I think that there's another voice that is often overlooked, people who are held at gunpoint in their homes without any structural damage to the homes. And this is a home that is, I can't imagine anyone living there, or like Kut's family's house. How can you live where the entire family was murdered? Parents and 3 children. I can't imagine myself living with these ghosts around me. But having said that, these ghosts also are around me as part of the community. So I don't know. But you can hear multiple opinions. Everyone are trying to live best with the wound that they carry, either if they want to rebuild or to freeze in time. This is rebuilt by the State of Israel, as opposed to the neighborhood behind it, which was rebuilt by a volunteer organization called Achim Laneshek, Brothers in Arms.
And when is your home going to be ready?
I have no idea because it's no longer my home. As soon as we packed everything in boxes, it became the Kibutz apartment again. I know that they're working on this for at least a month now. Don't know how long it's going to take, but the estimation for the entire kibbutz to be ready is summer of 26. Some parts of the kibbutz haven't started the rehab efforts. Some are currently in progress. That means also houses, but also utilities, power lines, water pipes that were damaged either by IDF or by terrorist attacks.
And how do you imagine the kibbutz in the next couple of years?
The community is broken. Some parts can't go back here or go back south, but they're still part of the community. They suffered the hardest thing a human can ever experience. Some people, my parents including, can't wait to rebuild everything. There's a tension between those two groups, and I know that some will never come back again. I know. I had a pride flag, LGBT pride flag, on the rails.
This is your house?
Yeah, on the rail we had a flag, so it's already targeting come here terrorists. My neighbor, who lost both his parents, built a huge pergola where you can see the construction materials right now. No more pergola. And everything is now in rebuild. I know that terrorists were all around this. It used to be grass, but now it's dead. And there was a terrorist at the entrance of my apartment.
The body of a terrorist?
Yeah.
And do you think you will come to live here again?
At this apartment, no. At this apartment, 100%, I wouldn't agree.
Why?
I had a family. And my family was murdered without a funeral. I lost my family, and I lost my spouse as a result of this war. She's not dead, but the person I knew is no longer here. I lost my dreams, my entire future that we were planning together, the babies that we're gonna have together, all this.
And do you remember like your best memory here in this house?
I remember Eurovision where when Noah Kirel represented Israel, there was a round of violence, and we were in safe room for the entire Eurovision. We started to watch it from the living room, and after, I think, 3 minutes, we went in. Every Eurovision, I remember rockets. So being near home, I'm not calm, I'm super alert. and it's not a safe space, and it's not a happy place. All I can think about is the smell of death. Everything that came out of the apartment reeked of death.
When was the last time you came into your house?
Last year. The last time I said goodbye, last August, a team of the Ministry of Defense of Israel, because my house deemed as being not structurally affected, but internally affected the most, I was eligible to have a team helping me, and we cleared everything, and had to go through my closet and my previous spouse closet, and go through our wedding photos. Some stuff were too ruined by terrorists. They desecrated my couch. Mm-hmm. They left remains specifically on the couch, and it reeked. So to see them taking the couch and it's breaking, but I don't need to care about it because they're throwing it away, but it's still my couch. It was super emotional, and I'm still unpacking. It takes me a very long time to take those boxes, and I still have like 3 left. It's hard for me to be near my home because home is where you feel safe. I don't feel safe. I lost the ability to feel safe and 100% calm. I'm always on some level alert. The second I saw the footage of the pickup truck in Sderot, I realized there's nowhere to come back to. There's nothing to come back to. For the first 3 weeks, I didn't know if I'll ever see my guitars again because of the scare of booby traps. So people who didn't go through this, who slept in their own bed and were able to choose what they want to eat, I didn't choose for a year and a half, then they don't understand a lot of things. They don't understand the small things that can drive me insane. I couldn't go back to this same apartment. To Kfar Aza, I don't know.
And how can you imagine the balance between remember what happened and move on?
I think it's different between individuals. I carry it every day with me. My family wasn't buried, but it's gone. In every happy occasion, I remember my family. I think that it's a fine line and trial and error. Sometimes we will do too much to one side, too much to forget, too much to remember, and adjust accordingly until each and every one of us will find their path. Write a lot, mostly poetry, since the beginning of the war, and I write music. And this is my way to remember, to process, to document. I know that other people do it through other types of art, or by giving tours in the Kibutz. And some people need to put it behind them, the scars are too painful to bear, and the only way to breathe is not to think about it.